There's three clubs that I'm putting together into one video, namely because they might be in a little bit of trouble this season. I'm basing this off of how last season ended for two of them, and because of how real the sophomore slump seems to be in the Premier League. Not that I've ever heard an Englishman use that term, but American listeners know what I mean there. The sophomore slump danger club is Brentford. With the loss of Christian Eriksen, who I know they only had for part of the season last year anyway, and no really noticeable signings. I know that they've had some guys they brought in, and the dynamic should be pretty decent there, but obviously we've seen a very real sophomore slump issue the last couple of seasons. Clubs that do really well in year one, and then typically get relegated in year two, and that could be them. Now, with that said, I told you in a prior video this week that I was looking heavily at a handcuff strategy at goalkeeper, meaning having the starting keeper and the backup keeper for a mid-table-ish club, so that I didn't have to worry about goalkeeper. So no matter which goalkeeper starts, it's going to be perfectly fine. Brentford's the club I currently have two goalkeepers for. I have no one else in my squad from Brentford, so there's no danger of hitting that three-player limit for each club. And even though there's a little bit of a simmering goalkeeper controversy, Rhea's the guy there, kind of like the way Matt Ryan used to be the guy at Brighton, and also this guy, Robert Sanchez, started taking over. It seems as though that same situation's happening. All that means is I'm paying 4.5 for both. Not ideal. I could save half a pound and actually play the two Brighton goalkeepers in FPL. But right now I'm on Brentford. If you look at their fixture list between now and, October, the World Cup, it's really, really good. And so I'm going with the matchups, and I'm avoiding the controversy, potentially simmering at Brentford with their goalkeepers by just having both of them. I really forgot to mute that, sorry. I really like Patrick Bamford, and I really think that he's going to surprise people, and that there might be some moves from Jesus to Bamford early in the season. I just do. You either think I'm crazy, you might think that's cute, and you go ahead and play that strategy, or maybe I'll convince you to join me in this. I'm wrestling. This is one of those last-minute decisions I'm really overthinking, for sure, and wrestling with. As it stands, I love Patrick Bamford. And I always like to see what Americans are available to play in FPL. We are the FPL American podcast, after all. And I'm really excited about the young Americans who I've been watching now for the U.S. men's national team for the last 18 months. And they're starting now to get signed by Premier League clubs. And I'm mentioning it here because Brendan Aronson, a new lead signing, playing for American manager Jesse Marsh, that's a player that I'm probably going to be tempted by at some point this season. He's had pretty decent preseason, and if he can carry that into the real matches, we're going to be talking about him. And then if you've listened to our brand new episode, which dropped yesterday, final one before the season starts, you know that I mentioned Nathan Patterson at Everton. He's really the only Everton player I'm considering, and I'm only considering him because he's 4.0 and he might be a wingback for Everton. And if so, then he gives you a second 4.0 defender option alongside Nico Williams of Nottingham Forest. And so I actually have both in my lineup right now. That gives me the ability to have three really good defenders. Right now it's TAA, Cancelo, and I think Matty Cash, but that Matty Cash spot is very fluid at the moment. I can play those three and then rotate either of those 4.0 defenders based on matchup in my 4-5-1 scheme, and so I'm kind of liking that. Even as I say it out loud to you right now, I still like it, and Nathan Patterson enables me to be able to do that. Three clubs could be in some trouble, but there's some assets here, discount prices that definitely have my eye.